Welcome to the Voices That Propel Us, stories of justice, action, and community, a space where justice meets action and community voices rise. Each episode, we bring you stories from the front lines, changemakers, disruptors, and everyday heroes who are building a more just, equitable, and liberated world. This is more than a podcast. It's a call to listen, learn, and move together. You were just listening to music from the incredibly talented Stephen Kong. You can find him on Spotify and Bandcamp. Today we have with us Jessica McKinney. Jessica is a married mom, storyteller, and podcast creator rooted in resilience and real-life growth. Her work centers around honest conversations on mental strength, healing, and what it truly means to live, learn, and let go. After navigating some intense, life-changing experiences, she turned her story into a platform that gives others permission to share theirs. Raw, unfiltered, and powerful. She's passionate about connection, truth, and helping people feel seen through the stories we tell. Well, hi, Jess. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this platform with me. I'm really excited and really grateful to hear more of your story and the work that you do. But how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me. This is so exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited too. You're such a wonderful person, putting so much joy and positivity out there. And I'm excited to learn more about who's the person behind the microphone.
Oh yeah, thank you. And it's going to be interesting when people hear my story. They're almost going to not believe that I've gone through so much of that stuff, right? Just because I'm always smiling and I'm always happy. And when I tell my story, I'm just kind of my normal voice. I don't get quite emotional, but it's like I've gone through it so long ago that like the now is just, I just want to help people who have gone through it too.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Wow. Okay, so no, that's wonderful. And just starting off, so when people hear your name, what do you hope that they feel or understand about the work that you do? Or, with that too, like, do you feel like there's pieces of yourself, like you were saying right now, that people might not understand or know about you?
So with the work that I do, I really hope that when they hear like my name and attached to Live, Learn, Let Go, I really hope that they just have a sense of understanding and feeling less alone. Just because when I was really healing through a lot of my problems, I felt pretty alone through them just because I didn't think anybody would understand me. And I want people to feel understood because I felt misunderstood most of my life. And I still kind of do feel misunderstood because my story is not fully out there. No one's heard my story start to finish. I've never had anybody I've never really felt like anybody cared. It was just me trying to put my story out there and no one else really talking to me about it too, besides a friend. So yeah, I really hope that people understand that it's okay to talk, and it's okay to tell your story, and it's okay to not be ashamed anymore because it happened to you. And once you learn what you went through and you learn that it's not your fault, you can kind of let go of the things that have been holding you back, and the healing part will start to happen a little bit more.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. I love that. And so you describe your work as rooted in resilience and real life growth. So, just expanding on that, what experiences shaped that foundation for you?
Well, my trauma kind of started at a really young age. I kind of joke that I was born into trauma because my dad was in the military until I was 15 years old. And being born into the military, it's kind of one of those things that your parent is not there as much as they should be. And when they are there, you often are unsure how much time you have left with them until they have to go again. So my dad was a nuclear submariner, and this was in the 90s. So back in the 90s, there's no cell phones. There's barely landlines that work overseas when people are out to sea. So my dad, oftentimes he would come home for 2 weeks and be gone for 6 months. We had no idea where he was at. We had no idea when he was coming home. We had no idea if he was okay. The only form of communications was a phone call every once in a while when he could get to it. It was never a guarantee. So that was like childhood. But moving around a lot too as a child, that really affected my schooling. I was constantly pulled out of school because I was struggling with tests. I couldn't pass math to save my life. English was a trouble. English is still a struggle for myself. I have dyslexia. That's a name for it now, but back then it wasn't a name. It was just you're struggling and you needed help. I don't even know what they called it back then, being pulled out of classes. But my school was terrible. And then having to make friends, your friends would be your friends for maybe a couple months, and then they would get discharged and go to a different base. So you're constantly having to make new friends, and just kind of not having lifelong friends for a really long time until you're an older adult really does struggle and show a lot of like what you've gone through and stuff like that. But it didn't stop with just moving around in childhood. It also went into bullying in high school. And then the bullying after high school, I got my first job, and then that's when my domestic violence had started. And then my domestic violence lasted over a year. And after a year, I had to move from Connecticut to Hawaii, because that was the only thing that we could do to get me away from that situation. And we can go into that a little bit more whenever you want to ask more questions. I'm just trying to give you an overview of everything that's gone on in my life and what people can expect. But after I escaped my domestic violence relationship, it was maybe about less than a year later, I had met my ex-husband, and he's now my ex-husband. And we fell in love very quickly, had a baby within a year of knowing each other. And next thing I know, I'm living in California for the rest of my life. And so since I've been in California, I've had to deal with a lot of health issues. I've been depressed. I think I've been severely depressed ever since my domestic violence had happened, but we didn't know that was, I'm always smiling and happy. So like people don't understand that behind closed doors, it's a completely different story with me. Like I don't want to do things. I'm tired. I'm exhausted all the time. Those are things that people don't see, because I don't want people to see the bad side. I only want people to see the happy sides, because I feel like energy is contagious. So I notice that anytime I'm in a bad mood, someone else around me is in a bad mood too. Or anytime I'm in a good mood, someone's in a good mood with me. It's just, I don't like to talk about the bad very much. I have my own system of dealing with it. But then getting diagnosed last year with all these mental health issues, it really was kind of life-changing for me. So going through all these different things, and then now sitting in a different kind of healing, because I've already healed from the things that I went through. I've already kind of brushed it under the rug, and it doesn't affect me as much as you think it should. But now when I look back on my life, now that I'm more clear-minded, when I look back on everything that I went through, now with the diagnosis, I'm like, this has been going on since I was a child, because I was sexually assaulted when I was 10 years old. So that's where all these different traumas, and people are like, how do you get through it? And I'm like, I had no choice. You just have to.
No, thank you for sharing that. And I'm so sorry that you had to experience those things and go through it. But what because I know you were mentioning like seeking mental health services. So what helped you to get those mental health services or the support that you need? Was it something that was like encouraged by friends and family? Because actually with myself too, like I use mental health services myself, but like I was kind of forced into that situation. But like I learned like it is something that I really need, and it really has been a lifeline for me since I was a teenager. But yeah, what helped you to get those kind of like professional services that you needed?
Yeah, so I've been knowing something, that I kind of known that something has been wrong my whole life. Like I kind of felt different, kind of felt like a little bit out of the box kind of character. Like my mind frame and my way of thinking is a little bit different than other people. I feel things way more intensely.
Right.
Even though people only see happy, I do internalize a lot of my feelings. And only if you get close to me, you get to see everything. But if you're not close to me, then you don't get to see it. You just see happy-go-lucky Jessica. But last year, when I'm like, it's kind of like a 3-part story for why I got help. So I'm trying to figure out how to tell it in like a non-lengthy version. So what ended up happening was it started December 2nd of 2023. I was on my way home from an event. I used to be a wedding planner / wedding coordinator. And I owned my own business and everything. And so I was going home from an event, and I got T-boned by a Tahoe in my little tiny Prius. And I was stuck inside my car. I have severe claustrophobia, so that's not fun to begin with. And so it wasn't just a little tiny hit. Now I'm driving maybe about 45 miles an hour down this little tiny freeway. Like I had to get off the freeway and turn around because I got lost. And so as I'm about to turn around and go back the other way, I'm going through a green light. Like I have the green light to go. And next thing I know, I'm spinning in a circle and I'm in a bush. And I look around and I can't see anything because my car's kind of like tilted to the side and I don't see any people, nothing. And I look back and there was the Tahoe that had hit me. And it had indented my car and hit my car so hard that the power shut off.
Oh no.
To my car. So I couldn't even get out of my car whatsoever. And then next thing I know, people called the firefighters. The firefighters came. They had to do the jaws of life and get me out of the car that way. And so because anytime you do a jaws of life, they automatically make you go to the emergency room because the impact is hard. I already knew I had to go because I didn't feel right. So they took me to the emergency room and they pretty much ruled out that there was nothing life-threatening with me. So I just assumed that I was fine. I've never been in a car accident like that before. So I just was like, okay, I'm going to be hurting for a little bit and then I'll feel fine eventually. I had another wedding though that I had to work December 7th. And so the day before you work a wedding, or the day before a wedding is generally a rehearsal. So on December 6th, I had to go to a rehearsal for a wedding and it was 2 hours away. So I had to drive 2 hours away to a rehearsal, to run a rehearsal for an hour, then come all the way back up to my house. It was 5 hours, 4 hours of driving, maybe 5 days after a severe car accident. And I didn't even know that I didn't even really understand what PTSD was. Because my whole life I just thought that like you just brush things under the rug, you don't talk about it, it goes away, and if you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, then did it really happen? That was kind of my mindset my whole life through all my traumas. And I would talk to my friends and family about things, but it was never like, hey, you should go to therapy and you should get help because you were just in a severe car accident. It might affect you when you get back in your car. Never, ever was that a thing. No one ever mentioned therapy to me, whatever. So then I go the next day and I work this wedding. But before I went and worked this woman's wedding, I had let her know that I was in a car accident and I couldn't lift anything heavy and that I would need some help at the event lifting anything that was heavy of her items. We reached an agreement. It was unfortunate that I couldn't bring my assistant Gabby with me because her father had just passed away unexpectedly just after Thanksgiving. So the timing of it, like if that had not happened, Gabby would have just went and taken my place or at least come with me, but I had nobody. I had to go and do this event on my own. So I show up, I do the event to my best of my abilities. And then maybe about 3 or 4 days later, she posted on Facebook about me, complaining about my services and just accusing me of... She didn't post my name, but she posted enough information that if you were one of my clients, you knew who I was. And I was a very active, my business was successful until the end. I had maybe 50 different clients that I had worked with on my own, booked them, done all these different packages, just I built my business from the ground up. So this woman complaining about me online, it instantly made me feel like I was in high school being bullied again. Because it was just comment after comment, take her to court, sue her. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Like having all these people believing these things that weren't true about me. The next thing I know, I have my upcoming brides wanting to cancel on me because of everything that was going on. So I had to fight or flight and fight for my life of my upcoming brides. And luckily, the one bride that was really upset, she never did cancel on me. She went through with the event and I never heard back. But I had maybe about 10 other weddings after this one to work. And I had already stopped taking on new clients just because I was already booked. So thankfully, because I was already booked, because of everything that was going on, I was in a position to close my business and it not be too much to do. Because come Mother's Day weekend of 2024, I'm sitting on my porch, enjoying a glass of wine, the Saturday before Mother's Day. And all of a sudden someone walks up to my door and says, "Are you Jessica?" And I was like, "Yes." And they hand me a huge packet and I'm being sued by this bride for $5,000. And she's accusing me of all of these different things. And I'm like, "Are you joking me right now? None of this is true." So then next thing I know, a week later, I have a packet full of all of her evidence showing up at my front door too. And it was letters from all of these guests of her wedding. Mind you, I had interacted with them the whole entire night, told him how I was in a car accident, told him I was injured, told him how, like how great the wedding's turning out to be and how happy I was still to be able to be there. And I've been working with them for over a year. They had to change their location and all these different things, right?
Right.
And all of these people had wrote letters in their support. And they were nasty letters. They were like, all she did was stood around all night. And she didn't do any of her work. And I'm like,
Wow.
if I didn't do my job, then how did the wedding even happen?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. So mind you, it came to the court time. I did have other weddings I was working. I think I mentioned that. It was June 13th of 2024 that we had to get court. Like, I had to go to court for this lawsuit with this bride. And it was 7:30 a.m. I woke up and I just started being so sick. I could not keep anything down. And I still had to go to court. Showed up to court. I was leaving the courtroom maybe every 20 minutes, having to go to the bathroom and barf. I didn't know what the heck was wrong with me. I thought I was just stressed out. I wasn't eating very well because of that. Like, I was so stressed out that I couldn't really eat and keep food down to begin with because I didn't have an appetite. And we go through the whole lawsuit process.
Yeah.
She ends up winning for like $800 or something like that. And then we leave. But on my way home, I had to go and work a wedding rehearsal for the biggest wedding that I had yet to date of 200 guests.
Okay.
So I went and got sued the morning of, had my name for my wedding business drug through the mud. Then I had to go and run a business like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Didn't know that all of that's PTSD, living in it. I'm not going to therapy, not on medications for anxiety. I don't even know that I'm actively living in like a burnout at the moment. Looking back, holy crap, how did I survive? That's where I kind of really, like, everybody thought I was dying when this was all started happening. Because when I started getting sick, that didn't stop there. I was sick for 8 months. So from June 13th of 2024 until March of 2025, I was sick. We thought I was dying. We thought there was cancer. We had no idea. I was just told I had the never-ending stomach bug. But turns out it was a burnout because of what I was living through. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And because I was barfing so much and not being able to eat and not keeping food down, I had lost 100 pounds naturally.
Wow.
Without trying. It was terrifying. Nobody knew how much I even weighed to begin with. I was at 280 pounds and the lowest I got down to was 145 pounds.
Wow.
And I made myself gain 55 pounds back because I'm like, get closer up to 200 pounds and then you can lose the weight healthily, because I had lost it so fast and so drastically that it was terrifying. I'm like, I've always wanted to be this thin. But then when you got down to being that thin, everybody's commenting on it. Oh, you're so skinny. Oh, you look so thin. And then like, it was something in my brain was like, oh, we don't like that. So now let's gain some weight.
Yeah.
So all of that had happened. But during that time, I had started watching Big Brother. It was July 25th of 2024. When my best friend had been like, hey, come over, hang out, smoke some weed. Maybe that'll make you feel better with your stomach. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. So I go and I hang out with her, and she's got Big Brother. I don't know if you've ever heard of the TV show Big Brother.
No,
She had that playing. Yeah, she had that playing on the TV show. I had never seen it up until that date.
Okay.
I'd maybe heard about it, but I never watched it. And when I first saw it, I was like, what the heck is this? And I started asking all these questions, and they basically told me to shut up and they'll tell me later. So that way we can watch the show. And it was almost like a love at first sight with the show, because it just started making me feel better from watching it. I don't know what it was, because I was so sick that just something about the show was an escape for me. And so eventually it was maybe beginning of September, middle of September is when I switched to an all liquid diet. I stopped trying to eat solid foods because it wasn't working. It was hurting so bad. I was in so much pain. I was constantly exhausted. I was still having to work. I couldn't work barfing all the time. So I'm like, let me switch to just protein shakes, yogurts, water, juices, things like that. And that was a life-changing moment for me, because I stopped barfing so much. But because I was still in such a severe calorie deficit at the time, I was still losing weight drastically. And I was terrified. I'm like, I can't keep stuff in my body. Am I going to die at any moment? Like, and fear, my biggest fear is death. And, you know, the quinkadinkly of this is I'm actually sitting next to a graveyard right now because it was the only quiet place I could find to come talk to you at. But it was terrifying. And so I eventually started, it was October when I started unraveling in front of my friends. When my friend Ashley started noticing something was off, she's like, "You're being very forgetful lately." And I'm like, "Forgetful? I have such a good memory. What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, you forgot your phone at Disneyland for one. You forgot about you forgot about the conversation we had about this. You forgot we made plans here." I just had forgotten so many things, and I thought that it was malnutrition from not eating. I had no idea that it was mental health related. I didn't understand the depths of mental health issues whatsoever. So I just kind of brushed it off and didn't think anything of it until it came February 14th when I was at work. And I kind of spiraled. I got really upset that they weren't giving me hours. I kind of lashed out at them. They thought that was really abnormal. And then 2 weeks later after that, I had gotten fired and let go from them because I had screwed up on a table of 13 people. I didn't ring an enchilada thing, and they didn't get it till after their meal, and they freaked out on me. And so I was they didn't fire me. They just put me on medical leave just because it was nothing's going good with you. But it was what really took me getting help was I couldn't function at work at all. But it was interesting because it was beginning of January that I had decided that I was going to start auditioning for Big Brother because it had made me feel so much better just watching it. When I had figured out that they take ordinary people like me and they want people who have a story and a background like me, that's when once I started auditioning for the show, that's when I realized I really had to start talking about my story. And it's pieces of me that I've never really talked about. And when you don't really talk about it in a healthy way, I was talking to a camera by myself, trying to piece together my life in the quickest way possible about things I've never talked to about before ever. And so that ended up sending me, I'm bipolar, and I didn't know it back then. But what ended up happening is I went into a mania. So I spiraled up into a mania trying to make the best audition video that I possibly could. And my husband one day when I was talking to him about, I was so confident and cocky last year that I was going to be on the show. I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to be on the show. Look at me. Like, I am what they're wanting for. Look at me. Look at me. I'm going to be there. But that's just the grandiosest part of bipolar mania, you know? It's definitely a much more realistic thing for me now. But last year it was very much so different. And it took me kind of hallucinating a little tiny bit. But in my mind, in my husband's mind, I was hallucinating. But in my mind, I was daydreaming out loud. That's kind of the difference where my husband, he asked me if I was on drugs because of what I was saying. So I had told him, I was like, "Hey, babe, when I'm on Big Brother this summer, I'm going to be missing you. And I'm going to be singing a song in the back of my head. And I'm just going to start dancing around in the kitchen while I'm making my food on Big Brother." And he was like, "Are you on drugs?" I'm like, looking back, I could understand why it might sound a little kooky, but that was just my little daydream. I had daydreamed so hard about being on this TV show because it had made me feel so much better from the sickness that I was going through. Like, it had helped me get through like that sickness. And then it led me to getting therapy because I had already made a therapy appointment in between me screwing up on February 14th and the beginning of March when my husband accused me of being on drugs. I already had that therapy appointment set up. And so I basically put myself into therapy because of everything that was going on. So it's just that whole thing. It really, auditioning for a TV show made me get help.
No, that's so cool. No, thank you so much for sharing that. That's such a powerful story.
I'm like, I don't know if that was too long, but that's really, it all started back with the car accident. So I kind of had to paint the picture of like,
No, thank you for sharing that.
And so getting the help, it's been completely life-changing because I got put on medications and I've never been able to think more clear. I can now like address an emotion in the moment instead of brushing it under the rug. If I'm angry, I can tell someone why in a happy way, like in a healthy, happier, more
Right.
positive way. If I'm sad, I can do the same. If I'm happy, I can actually express it in a way that makes sense,
Yeah.
Whereas last year I was like a chicken with my head cut off. You couldn't understand anything that I was trying to do, anything that I was trying to
Oh,
say. I just told everybody, look out of my way. I don't know what's going on, but let me do
yeah.
my thing.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's such a beautiful and powerful story. And I feel like there's so many pieces of your story that also resonate with me. But something that I wonder though, like, do you feel like those messages of just like sweeping things under the rug, just keep going despite what you're going through, like are messages that you learned even as an early child? And I'm also thinking that I was the same way too. Like I feel like my body literally fell apart. That's when I needed to know, like, this is what I need to take care of. So I feel like I could mentally and emotionally, I just kept pushing myself. But yeah, do you feel like you had those kind of messages earlier in your life to just keep pushing through despite, challenges that you might be going through?
Definitely. So this is kind of like a big thing that me and my brother have learned.
Oh,
It's called
okay.
transgenerational trauma. And so
Mm,
basically anything about the generations before us, their traumas have been passed down to our generations. And
right.
so we're dealing with what our parents had to deal with because if you
Hmm.
look and compare your life of like I look at my mom and she never dealt with anything. She brushed it under the rug.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect example of like what is the saying? Like
Hmm.
practice what you preach. So if you want your kids to be a certain way, you kind of have to
Right.
act a certain way. You have to lead by example, all these different things. So we
Hmm.
always follow what our parents say and do. So I do
Hmm.
feel like because my mom brushed it under the rug and she only talked about things when she was so angry and she couldn't handle it anymore. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I did my whole life because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And it's not her fault. I don't blame my mom
Yeah.
whatsoever because she's gone through her own stuff that she's never talked about. And a lot of
Yeah.
interesting things is how when you said your body's broken down and
Hmm.
that's when you had to get help. A lot of people get to that level because there's this whole thing with your brain and your gut connection that if your brain and your gut are not connected and you're not able to physically do things, then you're
Right.
gonna get completely out of whack. And I
Yeah.
went down rabbit holes researching everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that too. And I'm the same. I think feel like it like in my family that's the same way too. And I feel like I didn't have like models of like how to do things differently. So I feel like with my daughter, I have a 10-year-old daughter, and with her, I want to like do things differently with her and model like what it looks like. Like we talk about emotions, and she's always like telling me, different things that are happening in her life. And it's just so beautiful because I feel like I never had that kind of open relationship with my parents. And I
Yeah.
know that you're a mother too. So do you feel like you're also trying to like do things differently, like break that cycle with that next generation, being a mother?
See, with my parents, like I'm very thankful because they just kind
Hmm.
of they were never a helicopter parent. They set
Okay.
their rules and their boundaries and we knew if we broke them, we were effed, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I kind of have done the same thing for my daughter because I like the way that I turned out. Yeah, I've had bad things happen, but I don't blame my parents. I
Okay.
blame myself because I put myself in those situations when I should have known
Mm.
better. Or, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, I just don't blame anybody. I just blame
Okay.
life. It's life that happened. So
Yeah.
when it comes to the situations with my daughter, I feel like parenting nowadays is a little bit easier because
Hmm.
you have cell phones, you have ways of tracking
Right.
your kids. They
Right.
can't go out. I mean, if you want to be a helicopter parent and protect your kid, you're able to. Back
Right.
when I was growing up, you couldn't do those kind of things. So now I'm like, my daughter knows she can come to me and talk to me about anything, everything, anytime she needs to. Like I'm an open book. And that
Okay.
was the same relationship that me and my mom had.
Oh,
So it's
that's
like,
beautiful.
I'm trying to pass all the good on, and there's
Yeah.
not really too much bad that I could pass on because I've always taken anything bad and turned it into good.
Okay. No, I love
So
that.
I'm like, I feel like parenting's so much easier. Like I feel it's not easy just because it's easy because we have technology, but it's also
Hmm.
hard because of the technology.
Right. No, totally agree with you. And, so I know that you speak openly about trauma and healing. So what does
Mhm.
healing actually look like for you? Just in real life. Like, I'd love to hear more about that. I know you started talking about that, with when you were sharing your story, but yeah, how has that, healing journey been for you?
Finally putting myself first.
Oh, okay.
I have
Mhm.
really worked hard at I'm still a people pleaser and I always will be,
Okay.
but instead of people pleasing at their needs, I'm people pleasing in my own way. So it's like if I've put down boundaries of where, like, what was really affecting my mental health was taking on so many things and just always trying to be that person for everybody, but I was never there for myself. And I had people that were there for me too, but I really have been making sure that if I want to do something for someone, I'm doing it on my own terms and in my own ways. So that way I'm still positively doing stuff for people, but I'm not overbearing myself, and I can put myself first and take care of my needs first. I used to never wake up in the morning and take a shower, do my hair and makeup, and then go about my day. I would go, first thing I would do is wake up and check on everybody else in the world. You know what I mean? But now just putting myself first and centering myself and making sure that I have what I need, I am now able to be a different type of people pleaser. And I'm able to please myself in different ways, like really starting this podcasting thing that I've done for my, that's helped me heal, and telling my story and actually talking about it instead of holding it under. It's now people who have not understood me, they're now understanding, and we're able to kind of work through some of the issues that we may have been stuck on. The like build a bridge and get over it kind of saying, like you often build the bridge but you get stuck in the middle somewhere because you're like, I don't know what else to do to get over this. So until you understand what happened and why, then you're not able to fully get over something. But now I find myself able to fully get over things because I'm able to express them. I'm able to talk to people about things. I'm able to heal out loud instead of healing internally.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about next. I'd love to talk with you more about your podcast. So, yeah, can you just share like what made you decide to create like a platform? Because I know that it's a space where other people can tell their story, share their traumas. And, I feel like you're creating this really beautiful network of just healing and support. So, yeah, what was that story behind like creating such a public platform to share your story and other people's stories?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. It was, it's all related to Big Brother. I never got a call back. I still haven't gotten a call
Oh
back.
no, really? Oh, they didn't even
Yeah.
like close it out or anything? Oh, I'm sorry.
No
Okay.
callback. This year
Uh-huh.
I auditioned, no callback. It's a very hard show to get on to.
Okay.
I was manic when I auditioned last year, so it's possible they noticed something different. It might just be
Uh-huh.
too soon still with my healing. Who knows what the reasoning behind it is, but
Mm-hmm.
I just realized after going through the process of telling my story. Now, when I say I tried to create an audition video, I didn't just do it one time.
Okay.
I have over 800, maybe 900 after this season, 1,000 different audition videos that I have done.
Wow.
Like, not even joking, just
Oh
because
my
it's
goodness.
for someone like me where I've held myself back from so much just because of my traumas, because I
Mm-hmm.
blamed myself for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It was something where I didn't want to talk about it because I thought it was my fault.
Okay.
Everything that had happened to me, I thought it was my fault. And so if it had happened to me because of my fault, then it's makes me a bad person. So I don't deserve to do anything good in the world. That's
Yeah.
kind of where my mindset was when it was trauma after trauma and thing after thing. It
Right.
kind of just felt like it was a me issue. But then
Mm-hmm.
during my healing now, when I realized other people were struggling too, like
Mm-hmm.
going through the process of auditioning, and I kind of just sat there in front of the camera and told my life story over and over and over and over again. And it
Wow.
felt healing, and it felt like finally maybe someone's going to hear this, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
one day, like it was almost like I was documenting coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like coming
Right.
out of the shell of just, I literally say I was in a shell of misery for 25 years. After my
Mm-hmm.
first assault happened at 10, I just didn't know how to talk to people in the way that I once did.
Uh-huh.
Like I had to just kind of be a people pleaser and not stand my ground anymore. And now, um, but it really was not getting a call back because going through and auditioning for so many tapes, and I had went through an open casting call too, and we can
Okay.
probably touch on that like another basis if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But being around other people who were just as excited as Big Brother and saw the potential in me too, I
Yeah.
finally started to get my confidence back. I've never been a confident person in my entire life. I've always
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I've never gone out and done anything, because I've never been confident. But with Big Brother, I'm very confident that I could actually get on there and win, or even just have the potential to make it on the show is a huge deal. Whether I win or not, like just getting chosen for the show is winning. But it was not getting a callback, because I was really hoping that I was going to get that callback. I was going to be on the show, and I was going to go into the diary room, and I was going to tell America my story, but not the house guest, because I didn't want the house guest to know my story, because I wanted it to be a secret from them. Because if they know how resilient I am, they're going to be like, we got to get her out. Oh shit, she's going to win. You know what I mean? Like, if you know Big Brother, they know like the smart people are smart and they know how to play right. And I didn't want it to be a threat in the house at all. So I wanted to be able to slowly leak that out. Like, I had everything so envisioned. But once I realized that that dream may or may not ever come true, how do I go about telling my story in another way? I'm like, I'm perfect for the show because I tell stories. I think I tell stories in a great way. And I'm very clever with my words. And that's what Big Brother is about, is it's all about storytelling. So I'm like, well, let me live out my dream in another way where I can help people on the outside world. I don't need to be in the Big Brother house to go and help people. Let me help people by starting a podcast. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. All I know is I need a phone, a camera, and people to talk to, and we'll figure it out.
I love that.
No, and the next thing I know, it's turning into something much more beautiful than I was ever expecting. And I find myself where I have my days where I'm like, I wish I just had that like make it moment where things would just go so much easier. But it's a lot of hard work, and I'm proud of myself for never giving up, regardless of everything. I didn't give up on Big Brother audition tapes. I still film some every once in a while when I feel like I need to, but I don't ever submit them. It's just I'm healing out loud, and I really like having a platform to talk to people where people actually care. I'm not just using my social media for just talking about my life. And for a while, that's why I never really posted, because I'm like, why do people want to know random stuff? You know what I mean? But once people started really saying I'm an inspirational person, and I inspire them and this and that, I kind of started leaning into it instead of away from it. And once I leaned into it, now knowing that I'm inspiring people, now feeling the inspiration of people, that's when I'm like, I just want to keep going. I just want to keep helping people. I just want people to keep wanting to talk and tell their stories. And I hope one day that I'm one of those big podcasters, like, Mel Robbins, like that's one of my hugest influencers. Like I would love to be able to one day interview her. Like I have so many big dreams. I just have to keep pushing forward for them.
No, that's so beautiful. I really love that. And I was wondering too, do you feel like you doing this podcast and building your platform has helped to boost your confidence too? Because honestly, if you didn't bring it up, I would think that you were such a confident person because like you do amazing like reels and social media posts. You exude a lot of confidence, even though you might not feel it. That's how I felt about you. Because when I saw yours, I was like, I gotta be more like that. But do you feel like it's been helping you to build that kind of confidence in yourself?
Absolutely. Now that I heard you say that, I'm like, I didn't know that I came off confident.
No, you totally do.
In my head, I totally am like, you look stupid. Someone's going to say this about you. Because I have borderline personality disorder. So part of that, like, that's such a wide spectrum, and it's something that's still being studied. I don't have the anger outburst unless it's with my family. My family, unfortunately, will get the brunt of my anger outburst because I put boundaries down during my healing. And if you cross a boundary, I'm going to snap just because I'm like, don't do it. Like it's there for a reason. It's like poking a bear is going to bite your head off eventually. You know what I mean? Like we all have things that are going to make us go, bah. And if you do it to someone like me, you're going to get the bah. And I don't like the bah to happen whatsoever. And so, I will never see myself the way that the world sees me. One, because I've had so much trauma. I've had so much emotional abuse happen during my domestic violence. One, that like the amount of things he's said to me and has done to me, it's really taken a lot of work to get out of that mindset. And now that I'm out of the mindset and he no longer has a hold of me, you know what I mean? Like when I say I'm letting go, like I'm letting go of my traumas because I'm letting go of that person holding on to me now. I'm now stepping into healing, and I'm now stepping into trying to see myself in the way that people see me. But it definitely has boosted my confidence because now I'm able to see both sides where I'm not stuck on one side. So I have this thing called splitting where I'll only see good or bad. So often when I post something, I'm only thinking of the bad.
Oh, okay.
Even though you're only seeing the good, I'm thinking of anything possibly bad that someone can say. So that way, if the rejection or if the negativity comes, I'm already prepared for it.
No, I'm the same way too. And, you know, I'm sorry that you also feel that way because I know I can be extremely hard on myself too. But one thing that I do notice, I feel like people are really resonating and want like authentic like connections with people. Because I did a post to like, I don't know if you've heard like 6'7", it's like this silly thing that kids are doing. So I had like this ink that is like number 67 and my daughter laughed at it and I was like, I don't get what's so funny, and she pointed at the number, and so I did this silly thing. I'm like, people are gonna think I'm so stupid, but I'm like, just did it. I just put the ink up there and told the story, and it got, I think it was like one of my most engaged with videos. So that's what I noticed. Like when I feel like, you know, people are just gonna like laugh at me and think, you know, what is this person doing? But like I feel like it's those videos that like really resonate with people, that really people just want to see real people right now. I think especially since there's so much like AI slop out there and everything.
Oh my
But
gosh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And for me, like with doing my podcast too, it's kind of preparing me one day for if I ever were to make it on Big Brother. Because I'm
right.
pretty much vlogging my life every day like I would be on Big Brother. I'm talking to cameras, I'm sharing my like I have like so much videos that I haven't posted.
Wow.
Just because I'm like, I don't know if people will care. I don't know if I should post that. So I go through moments where I'll post a bunch just because it feels good. It feels right. I'll post and ghost. So I'm a huge American Idol fan, and I haven't really been watching any of the recent seasons. I watched little clips here and there because I don't have the patience to sit through a whole episode anymore.
Okay.
But I saw Carrie Underwood. She was kind of giving a pep talk to the contestants, and she said, when you post things on social media, you have to post and ghost. And I was like, I like that. You post and ghost. And she said, you don't have to look at the negative. If you're looking at the negative, then you're giving into it. But if you post and ghost, you can go back and only look at the positive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's smart, because if you post it and you forget about it, then you're not worried about what people are saying.
Right.
You're not worried about the comments. And I now find myself not having to do multiple takes on anything, because I'm just like, at this point, if somebody doesn't like it, they don't have to watch. They don't have to listen. They can scroll off. If they're going to be mean, I can delete it or I can ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, if they really want to be that kind of person, then go for it. But I'm not going to be the person that you're going to tear down. And just having that confidence within myself, it's taken a lot of work. A lot of work.
Right. No, thank you for sharing this. And I know that you talked about this a little before, but I'd love to further explore it with you. But, you know, what do you hope that your story will inspire to others listening to your story? Like, you know, what, you know, do you hope that they have courage to speak their own story or like take actions to get the support they need? I'd love to hear, like, what do you hope that your story inspires to other people?
I hope that we both are being blown up by people who want to be interviewed.
Yeah.
I hope that people understand that we're two women who just want people to talk and want people to feel safe. And we all have things that we've gone through, but I understand why people don't want to talk about it, because once you put it out there, it's no longer yours. You put it out there and anybody could. It's almost like music with these podcasting and with sharing your story, but in a different kind of art. So the way I like to describe it is, when you listen to a song, you don't have to relate to every single part of the lyric just to be able to create something with it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be yours, right? But you could take what you would like from that song and turn it into something to relate to your life. Now, with religion, it's the same thing. When you go to church and you listen to the pastor, you're taking certain parts of that and you're relating it to your life and you're relating it to what you want to do with yourself. I hope that people, when they hear my story, they hear your story, they hear anybody's stories, they're taking bits and pieces and they're relaying them to their life, and they're understanding that you don't have to relate to everything of my story, just parts of it.
Right.
And if you don't relate to anything at all, like, thank you for listening. But at the end of the day, I really just want people to open up. I want people to feel encouraged and inspired to not hold back anymore, because when you do get over the hump of the fear of letting go of what you've gone through and letting things out and understanding that you've already lived through it, that, like, you learned a lot. You know what I mean? My whole live, learn, let go. It's a different kind of feeling of freedom because you're in control of everything. You no longer are giving other people the control of like your feelings.
Right. That's so beautiful. I love that. And, thank you so much for your time. I had such a wonderful time talking with you. You're such a
Yes, that's
resilient
so.
person, such a beautiful,
Oh,
powerful story. But just as we're wrapping up, I'd love for us to close out on this note. But what is one small but meaningful step that people can take toward their own healing, even starting today?
well, I would say going to therapy would first, I always recommend that first step for sure. But if you're not ready for therapy, start with you. You
Right.
have to really dig within yourself of what's going on in your own heart and your own soul and not look for blame on other people. I found that most of my life I was trying to blame other things and other people for things that would happen. But once I got over the blame factor of just and wanting to know why, like why did these things happen? So that way I could protect myself from them never happening again. So I really hope that start with themselves and focus on themselves for one whole day. Focus on their needs, focus on their wants and their desires, and that will be a step to help you feel so much better. Just one day. Just give yourself a day where you do anything and everything for yourself and tell other people, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do it for them on your time. And that's going to help your healing so much because whether we all want to admit it or not, we're all people pleasers.
Right.
We are all people pleasers in our own way, and it often destroys us. And it's because we all care about people and we all love people, obviously. And I mean, that's just my opinion. We're all people pleasers, and having to break a people pleaser habit of a lifetime of doing it, it's been one of the best things I've ever done. And so my biggest piece of advice for anybody who wants to get help is start with yourself. You can't fix anybody else. You can only fix yourself.
Yeah, no, thank you. And, thank you again for your time. You're doing such wonderful work, putting so much beauty and hope out there into the world. And I wish you nothing but the best. But just lastly, how can people find you if they like to connect with you, or where can they find the podcast if they like to listen to it?
Oh yeah. So you can find my personal page on Instagram. It's Jessica04_15. That's where I do a lot of my vlogging. If you go on there, I have Live, Learn, Let Go 25, which is my podcasting Instagram as well. And then on my YouTube channel, I also have two different YouTubes. I have my personal YouTube where I vlog and I have more Big Brother like related things out there. I have all of my audition tapes.
Wow, that's
I know all of them. There's probably about 20 on there that I've released just to the public for people to go and watch because I wanted people to see the progress that I went through of just not knowing what the heck I wanted to say to now this year, look what I'm doing, and it's like, if it's still not good enough, it's still not good enough. But I just wanted to release those to anybody who wanted to maybe see them so I don't have to do them individually anymore.
Yeah, no,
And then,
that's cool.
and then I'm also on TikTok too.
Okay.
So, and then I'm going to eventually, probably by the time this is aired, Spotify will probably be up there going too, but I'm still up and coming on my podcast stuff. It's, not perfect, but I think it's beautiful what I'm doing too.
Yeah, no, definitely, but thank you again. And I'm really looking forward to staying connected with you and, continuing this journey of healing with the both of us. But you're just such a beautiful person. And I wish you all the best moving forward. Yeah, but I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'll talk to you again soon. Okay. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye.
Thank you for being here and tuning in to Voices That Propel Us, stories of justice, action, and community. Your presence in this movement matters. If today's conversation moved you, share it, talk about it, and keep the work going. Together, we're not just imagining change, we're making it. Until next time, stay bold, stay grounded, and stay in the fight.
Every time I feel so mad and sad and bad, I say to myself,